All right, everyone. Welcome to reInvent 2023. My name is Bill Tarr. I am a SaaS evangelist with the AWS SaaS Factory. And we're here at our inaugural SaaS community event. And I'm joined by Erik Peterson. Erik, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from and what you're doing at reInvent?
Oh, what am I doing at reInvent? This is my 11th reInvent, and I wish I could say it was 12, but I have been a cloud fanatic for a very long time. And in 2016, I founded a company, CloudZero. So we are here to talk all about engineering profit, optimizing your cost per customer, cost per tenant, how people can get into the unit economics of their systems, and honestly just build more efficient systems on AWS, which is super easy when you're thinking about the right metrics.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Very easy. That's what I hear. Cost is such an easy topic.
You got to get into the zone, but you can definitely get there. And it's amazing what I've seen some of our customers do.
Right.
When we get into this, I'm like, I'm going to turn your engineering team into a bunch of profit engineers.
Yes.
And build to that margin target that you've been hitting at. If you're a SaaS company thinking about this, it's just unbelievable how sometimes the engineering decisions that are being made are not tied into the business decisions, and they are 100%. So interlinked.
Yes, right? So exactly. Now let me ask you something. So in terms of what you're seeing out there in the marketplace, are there any trends, any SaaS related trends that you're starting to see emerge that are a big deal for you that you're watching?
Oh gosh, so many things. One thing that I certainly see more and more of is, hey, we're going all in or trying to think more cloud native about how we're architecting our applications, or we decided to kind of embrace shared services and Kubernetes and containerization, but now we have this new challenge. We can't figure out how to break that apart. We can't figure out how to separate those costs into one particular customer or user or tenant or all these different units. So I think as people get more and more kind of possessed, if you will, of the idea around building more cloud native applications, they start to encounter these things that they weren't expecting. Right. Whereas before it's like, oh, well, I just allocated my costs, that EC2 instance or this EC2 instance. But what if I've gone all in on something a little bit more modern, Kubernetes, Lambda, right? I'm using those shared services, fantastic way to lower your overall costs, but now your cost allocation kind of journey becomes much more complex.
Right. Let me ask a different question. So what keeps you up at night? What's the thing that's been bothering you the most recently?
Oh my gosh, it keeps me up at night. Nothing keeps me up at night.
Spiders?
Spiders. Yeah, I know. Honestly, what is concerning to me, if you want to think about keeping me up at night, is there's this sliver of conversation around maybe the cloud was a mistake. And I don't think it was a mistake at all, right? But it's out there. People start asking the question, maybe I should move some of my assets back to the data center. And I think this is an opportunity for the world, for the cloud providers out there, for us to kind of double down on this and say, look, the most efficient path towards delivering value, there's nothing like the cloud. There's nothing that's been ever like that, right? There's a lot of different ways you can articulate or kind of capture that. But this conversation around let's move out of the cloud, that keeps me up at night, because the whole reason I got into this, the whole reason I got so obsessed with efficiency in the first place was I wanted to see my business that the company that I was working for, invest more in doing this, because I'm a geek at heart. I wanted to play with more toys.
I don't believe it.
I know. And so I got obsessed with building, very profitable, high margins kind of systems.
Right.
And the outcome of that was just this amazingly rapid move to cloud adoption,
right?
Because the economics made so much just obvious sense. So it keeps me up at night when I hear people starting to shift away from that mindset. It worries me a little. I don't think it's something that we need all say the sky is falling, but it worries me a little.
Now, there's always going to be outliers and there's different cases, but I think the trend is pretty clear for me. Now, let me ask, in CloudZero's sense, or you as an AWS ambassador, is there something that you're planning for the next year that would be really interesting that you'd want to share with everybody?
Something we're planning for the next year. Gosh, let's see. How much can I really get into the details on here?
Yeah, that's always the question. Right?
I know. Everybody loves to be a little bit, kind of.
You can be like AWS and just put a blank announcement.
So I'll tell you this. So one of the key things for me personally, has always been this very simple statement, which is that every engineering decision is a buying decision.
Right.
The people making the buying decisions are the engineers, the builders in your team. And they have been kind of outside of that kind of buying decision mindset. We moved into a world where optimization really flipped from being a place where I need to maximize my consumption of resources to a place where I need to actually solve a problem with the minimum set of resources. And that's a much harder problem to solve.
Yeah.
So as we think about the future, getting closer and closer to that engineer is so critical to us. And that means, faster data, more accurate information, targeted at the right teams and individuals, getting people in a mode where they can see cost is actually a very powerful efficiency metric or performance metric, if you will. Because think about the constraints of the world that we live in right now. Thanks to AWS, honestly, most of the constraints have disappeared, right? I don't worry about scaling anymore. I don't worry about all the classical things that I used to have to worry about. I only have one constraint, which is I may have infinite scale, but I do not have infinite wall. Right? And so constraints can be a powerful thing. And I think engineers need to start thinking about that constraint, because if you incorporate that in your thinking, wow, you're going to build some really amazing solutions. The constraints really drive innovation.
Nice.
So as we think about the future, getting tighter and tighter with that engineer and driving their interaction is going to be very key to our strategy.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks
Awesome.
for coming on.
It was great talking to you. Thanks for having me, Bill.
All right.
Fantastic.
Great.
Take care.
Enjoy your reInvent.
I will.